What's the reaction been like for you to coming back to Louisiana from the people that you know and the people that you grew up with and people from LSU?
The reaction has been amazing. I'm still getting text messages today from people I grew up with, family, friends. I have a lot of friends that are in the New Orleans area, a lot of family, cousins. Obviously, my immediate family is very excited to be able to see me at least 41 games of the year. And then just people from LSU. I work out at LSU, so the managers there. I work out at a place called Traction. The assistants, the secretaries there are excited. I'm just, it's great to be back home. Even the governor tweeted, what I'm saying, Governor Edwards. So I'm excited to be back home and excited to play for, the hometown squad.
Is this something that you had thought about earlier in your career that, maybe eventually you would love to be able to play in New Orleans?
Yeah, it's something that definitely crosses your mind. Early on, I was just trying to make my way playing whatever team I could be on. And then when you get to a point where you can become a free agent and actually you have a choice of options to teams to play on, New Orleans was definitely up there. And I just wanted it to be the right situation, the right amount of years, the right money, and the right, the right people within the organization. And I think Griff and Trajan have done a great job with the organization. Obviously, having the talent like Zion and Bi, and then picking up a guy like Jonas has been great. I spoke to Willie, but coming back to New Orleans has always been something that I thought about doing, and it becoming a reality has been great. It's gotten close to last maybe 3 or 4 years, but to have it happen right now at this point in my career is amazing.
Hey Garrett, this is Christian Clark with Noel.com. You just talked a little bit about Willie. You've been in the league a long time. Have you guys paths ever crossed, before now? And what are your thoughts on just getting to work with him?
Yeah, our paths crossed when we played against each other. I want to say Willie finished maybe in my fourth year in the league, maybe fifth, something like that. But other than that, not really. We've known of each other, obviously. I know he was a guy that was a defensive-minded, mid-range shooter. He's the type of guy that I kind of patterned my path after. What pundits call a journeyman, but a guy that just found a way to continue to be wanted and be needed on the team to have a 12-year career. So that was my thing coming into this league, just trying to find a way to, make my career longer and longer. And a guy like Willie Green is somebody that I kind of looked up to for that. In terms of, what we've discussed recently, I'm just excited for him to have his first opportunity here. And I'm excited to be, one of the veteran leaders to be able to help him, in this first coaching job. And we're trying to win, obviously. He got a lot from mine, and he got a lot from Steve. And hopefully he's obviously going to put his own little spin on things. But he's been taught well, and I'm excited to see what he has to offer.
And to that point, how do you be wanted and be needed?
I think, first and foremost, being professional. Being a professional in this league, and that means doing your job and doing it well. At the end of the day, everybody has a role, and once you secure that role, once you find that niche in the NBA, teams bring you in for you to do that. And especially a guy like myself and what Willie was. I'm a defender first and foremost. I've improved my 3-point shot. Last year I didn't shoot well, but I've improved my 3-point shot. And just being a guy that is dependable and professional at all times. So I think if you do that, and you work hard, more times than not, things fall in your favor.
Hey, what's up, Garrett? This is Will from The Athletic. You mentioned earlier about being a leader, and that's something you've done the past couple of years in the league. Just what are some of the most important traits you can bring as a veteran leader in a locker room, especially on a team with so many, 21, 22, 23-year-old guys like the Pels?
Yeah, a lot of young guys. I think the biggest thing, man, is to just early on just listen and get to know your teammates. Try to figure out, what guys like, what they don't like. Figure out how to push guys' buttons in a positive way. At the end of the day, earn trust at the end of the day. Earn trust. And more times than not, you earn that trust by working hard. It's tough to tell a guy to do something or tell a guy that he should do this and you're not willing to do it yourself. So at the end of the day, showing stuff on the court first and foremost and leading by example. And then at that point, you're able to speak to these guys and they may be willing to listen. But the biggest thing that we're trying to do as a team is win games. And as long as guys personally take responsibility and become accountable for their actions, I think that's the biggest way that as a team we can grow. And as a leader, I'm gonna just try to hold guys accountable, including myself, obviously, first and foremost. And I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people's natural reaction seeing your addition is to say, hey, he's going to bring leadership. But how much do you still feel like you have a lot to give on the court and can provide for this team, when they're, trying to make this playoff push this year?
Yeah, I definitely do believe I have a lot to give on the court still. You look at guys nowadays, age, you see what Chris Paul did last year at 36. You see what LeBron has obviously done. You see what Kyle is able to do, Kyle Lowry. And we're Kyle and I have known each other since we were 17 when we roomed together. I still feel like I have a lot of years left to give. If you see what I was able to do defensively last year with the Bulls, I can space the floor with Zion and Bi getting in the paint. Obviously, Jonas on the block, just being able to be that Swiss Army knife. I can play a lot of positions. I think I can provide a lot for this team in terms of what it needs right now. So I'm excited to do that. And whatever Willie needs you to do, I'm willing to do it.
Hey, Garrett, this is Andrew Lopez from ESPN. Going back just a little bit to the leadership side, I guess a little bit of a two-part question is one, how did those early, seasons when you were, bouncing around the league, trying to, fit in the D League and move up, help kind of form the player you are today? And how does that help you kind of talking to some of these young guys about going through a little bit of adversity in the NBA and still being able to persevere?
Man, Andrew, that's a great question, bro. Honestly, that was the secret sauce for me, in my opinion. The grind that I had to go through. And at that point, I was just, when I was going through it, it didn't feel like a grind. I was playing basketball, getting paid. I mean, that's the first time I got paid playing basketball. There was no, NIL stuff. Being on different teams, as you said, bouncing around to different teams in NBA, learning how to adapt, learning how to figure out different personalities, and being a chameleon type guy, understanding different coaching styles, and learning how to, get that and bring that to teammates. It definitely has helped me become a better leader, become a better teammate, and be more coachable. And I think I'm able to bring all of those things. And then, as you said, the grind in terms of being a guy that was a D-League guy on a 10-day contract to being a guy that was a starter playing 35 minutes a game. I've been in both situations, so I can relate to both guys in terms of their role and that situation where the young guys are down because they haven't played 3 games, relating to them, letting them know that next game may be the game that they play 20 minutes because somebody may get hurt or they just may have coach may just have an itch to put you in the game. So having gone through that, it allows me to speak to that, and guys more times than not will listen to me because I have gone through those things.
Garrett, it might be a little too early to ask this because you've only been officially on the team for about a week or so, but I was wondering, are there certain things that you observed from the Pelicans defensively that you want to try to pinpoint or try to improve? I know that you've built your reputation partly on being a good defensive player and the Bulls were in the top half of the league defensively last year. Are there certain things that you want to see the Pelicans improve upon defensively?
I haven't watched any film of last year. If I think back to playing against you guys last year, there's not one thing. I think dribble penetration is something that is big in this league, and it's very difficult right now to be able to guard the paint and the three-point line because the way people were able to shoot the three and how many people shoot. I remember earlier years it was very fast-paced offensively for the Pels, and more times than not, when you run transition offensively, that team does not really get back. So I would think first and foremost we need to be a great transition defensive team, and that's one thing that we really harped on in Chicago. But so I think being a great defensive transition team is probably first and foremost. And in order to do that, you got to be able to get back in transition, and then secondly, you got to be able to rebound. I think adding Jonas is going to really help in that regard. He's a big time rebounder, and you know, if you can rebound and you can make shots, it actually helps your defense. So we can rebound, score, and get back in transition. We'll probably be a better defensive team.
All right, I think we're good. Thanks, Garrett. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate y'all, man.